Multiplying polynomials using the box method. Recall that a polynomial is a series of terms separated by plus or minus signs, such as 3x squared plus 2x minus 1, or x plus 2. In the past, you have done problems like this where you have to distribute a 3 into a series of terms. In this video, we will learn how to double distribute when we have to multiply a set of terms in one parenthesis with a set of terms in another parenthesis. Let's start by looking at this rectangle. If I wanted to find the area of the rectangle, I could see that the length is 5 plus 6, or 11, and that the width is 4 plus 3, or 7. Since I can add 5 and 6 to get 11, and 4 and 3 to get 7, I know that the area is 77 units squared. Let's say I wrote it out a different way. I know that it was 5 plus 6 times 4 plus 3. If these weren't numbers and they were not like terms, then I couldn't necessarily add them together. But I would know that I could add up these 4 areas, 1, 2, 3, and 4, in order to find the total area. I would need to do the 5 times the 4 to get this area of 20, the 5 times the 3 to get this area of 15, the 6 times the 4 to get this area of 24, and the 6 times the 3 to get this area of 18. If I add all of these together, then I can see that my area is once again 77 units squared. What I just did over here is called double distributing. I distributed the 5 and I distributed the 6. What it says in the box is to multiply polynomials, we multiply each term, very important, each term in the first polynomial by each term in the second polynomial. Then we combine our like terms. In this case, because we only had numbers, we didn't have to do that. But as you'll see in the other examples that I'm about to show you, when you have not like terms, you are required to double distribute. Example 1. Multiply x plus 2 times x plus 3. We need to distribute the x, which means that we multiply x times x to get x squared, and x times 3 to get 3x. We also need to multiply the 2 and distribute it. When we distribute the 2, we get 2x from 2 times x, and we get 6 from 2 times 3. Then we combine the like terms that we see in the middle, and our answer is x squared plus 5x plus 6. I've distributed every term in the first binomial, or first parenthesis, by every term in the second parenthesis. I'd like to show you a different method that will help keep your work organized. We can write our x plus 2 along the side where each term gets its own box. And we can write our x plus 3 along the top where every term gets its own box. Inside, we're going to write the products. So think of this like a Punnett square. We have x times x is x squared. We get our product of 3x, of 2x, and of 6. Then we can copy down all of these terms and we can combine our like terms. You may even have noticed that these were like terms, and you may have even combined them as you wrote your answer at the bottom. We get the same answer. You choose the method. Example 2. We're multiplying negative 2x plus 3 times x plus 4. I know that I'm multiplying because there's no plus or minus between my sets of parentheses. I need to double distribute, and I'm going to show out the box method because, again, I think it keeps our work more organized. So I have negative 2x plus 3 as my two terms in the first set of parentheses, and I have x and negative 4 as my two terms in the second parentheses. I'm now going to write the products. That means I multiply to get what I write inside. So I've multiplied my negative 2x with my x to get negative 2x squared. I've multiplied my negative 2x with my negative 4 to get positive 8x. I've multiplied my 3 and my x to get 3x, and my 3 and my negative 4 to get negative 12. Now I'm going to write these down below and I'm going to combine my like terms. I have negative 2x squared plus 11x from my like terms minus 12. Example 3. 3x plus 2 squared. Squaring something means that we multiply it times itself. So to help me do this, I'm going to write out what I'm multiplying times itself twice. It's important to do this so you don't miss any terms in the middle. Now we need to double distribute. So once again, we have 3x and 2 and 3x and 2. So I get 9x squared, 6x, 6x, and 4. I'm going to write out my final answer, and when I do so, I will combine these like terms to get 12x. So my final answer is 9x squared plus 12x plus 4. Notice that we could not just square this and square this because we have a plus sign, which tells us that we have to write this out twice. Before I stop the video, I want to point out that the box method works for any size of multiplication. So since in this case we have one term multiplied by two terms, you could make a 1 by 2 box where you'd have a 2x and a 3x plus 1. For this next case, we have 3 terms times 2 terms. The box just gets bigger, but we can still use it the same way as before. So we would have 3x squared, 2x, and 1, and we'd have x and 1. We would still multiply each of the products in the boxes, and then we would add them together in order to get our final product. Now it's your turn to practice. Make sure you read the directions carefully and stop and check with the key frequently, especially whenever it tells you to. That way, if you're doing anything wrong, you don't continue to practice the skill incorrectly.